where the relevance of the Assembly's work repeatedly came to the fore through reaffirmations. The theme for this general debate, leaving no one behind, acting together for the advancement of peace, sustainable development, and human dignity for present and future generations, aligns perfectly well with our shared aspiration for effective international cooperation. In this regard, the adoption of the Pact for the Future and its annexes on the 23rd of this month, 2024, is encouraging. Namibia is proud to have served alongside Germany as a co-facilitator of the Summit of the Future. I congratulate all delegates for their commitment that brought the pact to fruition, all of you. Namibia's interest in the Pact for Future is grounded in the understanding that multilateral institutions, including the Security Council of the United Nations, do not represent African needs and aspirations. The institution created in 1945 must better respond to today's challenges. At the core of the pact is this recognition and the urgency for profound global transformation. At the heart of our quest to rebuild trust in multilateralism is a legitimate demand to be recognized as equal partners. Partners who can be trusted. Partners in the fight against war, against poverty, against global injustices and inequalities. Mr. President, Namibia is particularly concerned about the impact of climate change. Changes in ocean temperature have affected our fish stocks with potential long-term consequences for our livelihoods, ecosystems, and tourism. Namibia and the rest of SADC region are going through an El Nino phenomena which has adversely impacted our food security. In this regard, Namibia has to declare a state of emergency to address the severe effect of drought. As we approach the 30th anniversary of the Beijing Declaration, we are presented with a renewed opportunity to strengthen gender equality. Namibia remains among the top 9 countries globally that have close to 80% of gender gap. In the past 12 months, we have achieved perfect parity in the National Assembly, where 50% of representatives are women. Namibia is preparing for the 8th Presidential and National Assembly elections on 27 November 2024. Political parties, including the ruling party, which I represent, have nominated female candidates. We hope that the United Nations will have a female Secretary General in the near future. Namibia is working to develop a sustainable energy mix to support its ambitious industrialization agenda and to contribute to the world's efforts to combat climate change. We are establishing green industrialization ecosystem for decarbonizing industries that find it difficult to lower their greenhouse emissions. Investment in these key sectors is critical in Namibia. And Namibia is urging developed nations to scale up support for developing countries to facilitate gradual energy transition. Turning to international peace and security, there is an urgent need for this Assembly to support the modalities to actualize the adversary opinion rendered by International Court of Justice regarding the ongoing conflict in Gaza. Prolonged occupation does not justify or make acceptance the hardship and injustice endured. This is particularly true for the people of Gaza, who continue to be brutally massacred. As a country that has endured genocide, Namibia believes that Israel, by intent and by action, is committing genocide. Namibia continues to call for a ceasefire and humanitarian assistance to flow unhindered into Gaza. On economic matter, economic hardship continue to affect the sister Republic of Cuba in stark contrast to the ideals of inclusivity and the goals of leaving no one behind. Namibia calls for the end of economic, financial, and commercial blockade against Cuba and calls for removal of Cuba from states that are accused of sponsoring terrorism. Namibia also reiterates its call for the immediate and unconditional lifting of illegal sanctions against our neighbor Zimbabwe, which hinders the country's capacity to achieve sustainable development goals. Further affronts to the United Nations Charter, its purpose and principle is the continued disenfranchisement of the people of Western Sahara, who are denied the right to self-determination. The 79th session of the UN General Assembly must do more to change that situation. In conclusion, Namibia is a child of international solidarity midwifed by the United Nations, and therefore remains its firmest of proponents. The United Nations system can be strengthened if we hold hands and work together as bridge builders to illustrate, as illustrated by the Summit of the Future, by choosing the way of collaboration over enmity, peaceful dialogue over war and conflict, and de-escalation instead of escalating things, we can achieve our shared goal of more peaceful, just, and prosperous world. And I thank you for your attention.
On behalf of the Assembly, I wish to thank the President of the Republic of Namibia. The Assembly will hear an address by His Excellency Mohamed Younis Menfi, President of the Presidential Council of the State of Libya. I request protocol to escort His Excellency and invite him to address the Assembly.
السيد الرئيس، السيدات والسادة الحضور، في البداية يسرني أن أتقدم لكم بخالص التهاني على انتخابكم لرئاسة الدورة 79 للجمعية العامة للأمم المتحدة، متمنيا لكم ولفريقكم النجاح في المهام الموكلة إليكم. كما أتوجه بالشكر والتقدير للسيد دينيس فرانسيس على قيادته المميزة خلال الدورة السابقة والأمين